How much did you know about me before you wrote that story?
Your story is just literally every line. I mean, seriously.
And just seeing that happen again in your story, well, that's just, that can't be a coincidence, obviously.
That's fantastic. Wow.
So there's some pieces of that story that are quite profound and are right in reality.
Shariah said, "I want my light to shine, Jasmine." Jasmine kissed Shariah's forehead and said, "Glow. Let your glory shine. You're worthy, Shariah." Therefore, Shariah turned away from her magical mentor and faced the dark forest before her.
Jurri, it's just incredible. It's so Holy Spirit inspired. And that's why it moves me to tears, because I just felt like he literally spoke to you. He literally spoke to you about me.
Want to know what story you're in? Discover your own tale in books written about you. Imagine a library in heaven that contains books with stories written about you and me. These stories could be in any genre, from fantasy, mystery, action-adventure, or romance. Do you want to know what story you're in?
I love that you are using what you have in a powerful way to reach people that's outside of the box.
Yeah.
You're using your skill set to lower the wall that would keep people from wanting to receive, and you're releasing what you have in a way that can be received by someone who doesn't yet know the love of God.
Yeah.
And I really commend you for that. It is a forerunning that you are doing.
Thank you.
You're pioneering it.
Yeah.
A couple people text me, what does this mean, when I sent them the link?
Right.
I've never heard of this before. That's right, because I think Jurri's the only one doing it. And I really commend you for it.
Thank you. Marcia and Edwin, thank you.
Order a personalized, revelatory, unique story to discover the glory inside your heart. Peer into the pages of the Father. Become a legend and discover your identity and destiny here in Legends of the Wind. Click the link, order now.
And hello, welcome to the Legends of the Wind podcast. I'm Jurri Schenck. Thank you for joining us tonight. It is a pleasure to have you. If you are new to the program and you have not yet hit the subscribe button, please do so right now. And also like this video, and please share it out to the people that you love and know on the social media. Mike Smith chimes in, says, "Hi, Jurri and Kylie." Well, it's just me right now, so thank you, Mike, for saying hello. And by the way, for those of you who are new to our show, we like to tell stories here. These stories are profound and revelatory. They have hidden treasures inside them for the people I write for. And most of the people that I write for, I've never met before until they appear on the show. Now, there are some people that I do know, as in tonight's guest, my daughter. But for the people who I've never met before, these stories are so impactful for their lives. They are speaking to their identity and to their destiny, and they open up their eyes to special heavenly places and realms of the imagination. And they really touch people's hearts. They bring healing and hope into their lives. Robbie's on. Hey, Robbie. And Alisha's there too. So guys, thanks for joining us tonight. Now, our show is called Legends of the Wind. Well, what does that mean? Well, the wind is like the breath of the Spirit, and they blow and inspire people. And legends serve a function. Legends are on a map, and they tell you where things are and what things mean, and it helps you know where you're going to go in your life. And these stories help you discover your destiny and help you to know where you're going in your life. So that's part of how we operate here, and we love doing it. We love creativity. We love the people that we serve. So thank you for joining us tonight. Now, the question for tonight's show is, how can your dance in life change the atmosphere? Our previous show was amazing with our guest, Amber Irish. Her story was called Bottom Up and the Underground. And I tell you what, that story perfectly captured her heart. Now remember, I never knew her prior to this story. I never met her before. And I wrote a story that totally nailed it and it really hit her heart, and had many things in her life that were in the story. And that was very impactful for her and her daughter. And it's interesting because tonight my daughter Kylie is supposed to be joining us, and I'm wondering when she'll show up. But while we're waiting for her, I want to talk to you about our holiday special. We were previously doing a Black Friday special. We're now extending it into the Christmas and New Year season. And so if you want to have a story written about you and you want to become a legend, we're still doing a buy one, get one free offer for our website right now at legendsofthewind.com. Also, you can find a link in the description below. Typically, a single story will cost $250. That counts my time and talent for serving you. And right now we're bringing that price for 2 stories, buy one get one free, for $145. So I highly recommend it. These stories really touch your hearts and it would really encourage you. So think about that. And also, if you do want to gift a story to someone else, make sure you leave their name and email address in the additional information in the box. Also, that there's just a couple agreements to sign. One is a release to be on the show, and then of course a contract to let us publish your story. Now, if you do not want to be on the podcast but still want a story, no problem. We can totally work with you on that. I can give that to you privately. So my wife Alisha, if you look at our background, painted this painting. This is from the Fire Bear, and it's from the cover of my book, Volume 1 of Legends of the Wind. This contains 20 prophetic stories. So if you are interested in having not only a legend from me, but also an illustration, hey Robbie, do you like this one? You can have Alisha do an illustrated cover design as a story keepsake for yourself. So think about that too. It's also on our website at legendsofthewind.com. So Joanne is here. Oh my gosh. Hey, Joanne. Hi, Jurri. Excited to hear you and Kylie. Joanne, thanks for coming tonight. It's a pleasure to have you as well. All right. So my guest is Kylie, but I just wish she would get here quickly, and I don't know where she is. And so I have this story and I just don't know what to do, but I hope that she shows up soon. She was wanting to do that. So welcome, Kylie. How are you?
Good.
Cool. Kylie likes magic tricks and special effects and all. What is it? You like that? Oh my God, my mom's here. Grandma's here, Kylie. Cool. So, Kylie, welcome to the show. There have been many people that have been wanting her to return. She was on the show back in the spring, and she was brilliant at what she did. And thank you for coming. Thank you for agreeing to be here. So, Kylie, your story, it's called Dancing in the Whirlwind. Can you tell us and the audience, how did you get that? What was it? Why did you request that story? Tell us about that.
Well, I was wanting a story, and Dad usually gives out stories on the birthdays. So it was close to my birthday, but still like a month before, and I asked him, and he said he'll think about it. And then later he surprised me a few days before and read the story to me, and I liked it. But I think he read it again to everybody at my birthday party. It was amazing.
Cool. And just so you know, everyone can see you right there. Okay? So what did you think about when I read the story to you at your birthday, huh?
It was nice.
Cool. Cool. Well, we want to share her story with all of you out there. So, Kylie, Robbie says hi. Want to say hi to her? Cool. And so just so you know, for people who don't know how prophetic storytelling is handled, Kylie, do you know how it's handled? You want to tell the audience how this works? Or do you want me to do it? I can do it. Okay, cool. So the story is a revelation. And our conversation afterward is the interpretation. We get to discover and unpack the hidden treasures in it. And then we get to learn what is the application for it. Now, Kylie has a choice. You have a choice. You can say, yes, I love this story. I accept it. or no,
Or just parts of
or
it.
parts of it, right? And that you need time to process, right? Now, do you remember what the fire hose is all about?
So you're basically, when you get the story, you're basically drinking from a fire hose.
And what is that like for the person receiving a story? What's that happening?
You're like,
Right. So we have to regroup, right? And we have to go, okay, now we're done reading the story. Now we get to talk about it. Cool. Hey, Joanne. And Mom says, so cute. So does Joanne say, so cute. Okay, Kylie. Do you know what time it is?
let me see. It's 8:10. Oh, wait, story time. But it's also 8:10.
Nice. Thank you, Kylie. Well, let's read your story, okay? Everybody, let's do this. Dancing in the Whirlwind. Gold fairy dust covered Kylie as she slept on the grass forest floor. She was dreaming about all her friends who would join her today for her birthday. Kylie wished all of them to have great fun and enjoy each other playing. Kylie wanted every one of her friends to know her love for them and that she cherished their hearts. As Kylie slept, she turned over onto her side and smiled. Today was going to be an excellent day. Ruby and Fluffy, that's her rabbits, hopped over and moved around the sleeping Kylie. They sneaked to her face and licked her nose and gave her kisses on the cheeks. Kylie giggled in her sleep but did not wake up. She turned over to lie on her back and let out a happy sigh. Suddenly the ground rumbled, and the noise made Ruby and Fluffy terrified. In an instant, they scampered off into the forest to hide. Kylie, however, didn't notice the shaking, but she woke up. "Ruby, Fluffy, where are you?" asked Kylie. Kylie got up and stood on her feet, looking around. Off in the distance, between the many tall pine trees, a bright light shined. It was orange and yellow, and black smoke rose high above it. The sight shocked Kylie. "A forest fire! Oh no!" said Kylie. Kylie ran through the forest toward the light and what she thought were the flames. As she pursued the vision, she left the trees and entered an open grassy area that was high up. Kylie looked over the valley and saw in the distance the orange and yellow light. She realized it wasn't a forest fire because none of the trees were burning. It was a strange image that seemed to collect from the dark clouds above. It was a whirlwind of incredible light. It seemed to come from the heavens and touch the earth. There were dark clouds high above that were so full of moisture, and an immense rainstorm was about to happen. Lightning and thunder flashed and rumbled. Kylie knew this was a powerful encounter that was coming her way. Should she run from it, or should she pursue it? This was the key question that was in her heart. Curiosity filled her soul as she looked at the flowing light. This presence moved all across the valley floor and headed straight toward her. Kylie reasoned that since nothing was on fire or burning, that this light must be safe. But what is it? thought Kylie. The ground rumbled again, and the smell of sweet cinnamons flowed over the land and filled Kylie's nostrils. She thought the aroma was so amazing and pleasant. Joy and hope filled her heart. The atmosphere drew her in. A great desire filled her soul that she must have more. Kylie lifted her arms up and felt the rushing wind come her way. Her hair blew and spun around. Kylie closed her eyes and embraced the storm. Leaves and branches flew by her face and body, but she stood calm in the whirlwind. Inside her heart, songs sang, and she listened to them. Kylie danced in the whirlwind. The storm increased in strength, and the dark clouds let loose their rain. Soon the downpour hit the earth, and everything became wet. Kylie danced and spun around during the storm. All the other animals in the forest didn't understand the storm. They shivered in fear. They didn't know what to do as the golden yellow and orange light rushed over the forest and shined through the trees. The encounter was the strangest thing anyone had ever seen. Kylie opened her eyes. As she danced, she moved over to the animals and touched them on their heads. As soon as this happened, peace filled their hearts. The animals joined in her celebration, and they leapt all around. Even Ruby and Fluffy danced with them. Together they had such fun, and joy erupted all over the place. The storm rushed over the entire forest and moved on to the other parts of the land. Next, the sun came out and peeked through the clouds. The cinnamon smell was gone, but now there was a refreshing fragrance after the rain. Dew covered the earth, flowers bloomed, and life took over the land. Kylie was never afraid because she had great strength in her heart. Her dancing in the whirlwind inspired all who saw her. The animals of the forest and all of Kylie's friends saw how powerful her movement was. They came to her for help and guidance. They knew they could trust her because her wisdom was great. As Kylie slept that night, she remembered the golden, yellow, and orange light and asked for more. She made wishes to be in that atmosphere of light again. Her wishes came true, and new songs formed in her heart. Now she knows that she can handle any storm because courage fills her heart when she dances in the whirlwind. Ruby, Fluffy, the forest animals, and all her friends joined Kylie in her adventures. They danced, they played, and sang, and knew that together they would have such fun. They all knew together they would overcome any challenge or weather any storm. Inceptio.
I love it.
Yeah? Tell me about it. What's on your heart?
Well, title. What's the title?
The title is Dancing in the Whirlwind.
All right, let's cross off that ink. It's mentioned so many times.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that must mean that the title is more mentioned in, like, more.
It's okay. Well, the story mentions that phrase a lot. Yeah, it's part of the title. It's the theme, right?
It's the main chorus thingy.
Yeah, the main idea, right? So why is with your character of Kylie, or you, why is dancing in the whirlwind so important? Well, it's up to you. You can tell whatever you want. Okay, let me ask you a different way. What do you think this storm is all about?
Well, it's basically embracing something that you don't want to embrace in the beginning.
Right.
It's like something. Okay, so let's look at this. So there's you think it's a fire. So you know what fire is. It's dangerous. Very dangerous.
Right.
It can burn you. So, but I have the courage to fight against it.
Okay.
But when I find out that it's not bad, there's like a question.
What's the question?
Like, the question is like, then what is it? What is it?
What do you think it is, Kylie?
It's heaven.
It's heaven. Okay.
It's God.
What? Why?
It's angels.
It's angels? Oh, cool.
It's everything.
Yeah, so if it's not a forest fire and it's a heavenly atmosphere, right? So what do you think it's wanting to do in the story? What's its purpose?
Its purpose is to make sure I don't make me not scared, basically.
Oh, okay. Make you not scared. So that you have courage, right? Right, and so you know about life. Life can have challenges, right? Life can have its storms. And so what's our response to a storm? Do we get afraid or do we do the dance? What do you think about the ways you can respond to storms?
Well, when we go to your story, The Three Young Girls, which I also did that one, so they go up into space, the space area, and then they have this kind of map thingy. It shows them where the storms are coming.
Right.
Oh, that sense storms are the evil. The devil.
Evil. Okay, that's one thing. Yeah.
So, but this storm doesn't feel evil.
Right.
It feels refreshing.
Okay, good. Yes.
I know there's the storm dragon and other ones.
Those are other stories.
And there was one with the lady that was searching and going on all in a desert and seeing the rain.
The rain of heaven, yes. Remember that?
Those all have storms in them. The rain of heaven storm was good.
It's kind of like this one, right?
So I'm saying that you should basically think if the story is good, if the storm is good or not. So, but let's see. So this storm is good. So we want to embrace it.
Good.
We want to let it into our heart.
Right.
But we don't want to let in a bad storm into our heart.
Right.
Not like the three little girls story. The bad storms.
Right. And so let's say that you do have a bad storm from the enemy. What do? You dance in the whirlwind to change the atmosphere. You can change the nature of the storm, right? What do you think about that, Kylie?
Well, let's go to like when it's raining and then when it's suddenly shifting and a rainbow appears. Like that's basically the shift.
Okay.
Basically kind of how the shift works. So basically you basically embrace it and change it. It's it's hard to explain.
Yeah. It's difficult in the moment to do that, right? We all have our challenges. Well, we have a bunch of people commenting in the chat, and we want to recognize them. Mike says, Kylie, your facial expressions are awesome. Robbie says, love how Kylie's acting out the story. It is a great story. Joanne says, Kylie danced in the whirlwind. Love it. And she has a little tornado emoticon. Grandma says, we love your vocabulary, Kylie. So expressive. Joanne says about curiosity. Colleen says, little heart. And Robbie tells you, great thoughts, Kylie.
Thank you.
Nice.
I love you.
Thank you, Colleen. And thank you, Robbie and Joanne and Grandma. So what about the light in this story? Like the orange and the yellow and how it's almost like it's pursuing us.
It's... You know how sometimes littler kids crave for attention?
I think I know one.
Hey!
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Basically, that thing is wanting to attract you.
Ah.
Because it's heaven. Heaven wants to be with you.
Yeah.
But if you think it's but you have to have the courage too. Because I thought it was a forest fire. If I didn't have the courage, I'd just run away.
Right. And the fact that it wants to be with you and that you just said is very important observation. So there's the thing in the Bible called the kabod, which is the glory, and it's heavy. It's almost like the clouds and the rain coming. So Kylie, there's times when we are experiencing that heavy, good feeling that's the presence of heaven, the presence of God. And that's what the story is talking about, that you are embracing that and encountering that. What do you think about that kind of idea?
Yes, it's very good, but here, there's a thought come to me. The very last line.
Yeah.
It says, let's see. I prayed for more. So, like, if you think it's a forest fire and you believe in God and stuff, you're going to pray for it to not come to you because you think it's a forest fire, which you're basically praying to lose your chances.
Oh, you're missing an opportunity, right? Okay, so what happens if you don't miss that opportunity? What happens when you experience it? Like, what would you want to feel or experience in that?
Experience again.
Yeah, and what would unpack that? Describe in detail what you think that means.
It's hard, but I'll try.
Okay.
It's like you really like it. It feels so good and refreshing and nice. You know how you're like, some people know what comfort food is?
Comfort food? Yeah.
What? It comforts you, right?
Yeah.
You like it. So mine is refreshing. I like the refreshing feeling. So I think that matches perfectly with rain.
Okay.
And then, so basically, it's pulling you in, and you're like, you can't resist it. Just so good. So you keep praying for more and more.
Wow, that's amazing description. And in fact, many people are talking about what you're saying. Great thoughts, Kylie from Robbie. Mike also says great answers. Joanne says love the shift in the middle of a storm. And Joanne also says, Kylie, you perfectly explained it, and she's laughing. She loves it, and then Mom loves it too. So I want to open up to you guys in the chat, since you're all very much participating. I would love for you to ask Kylie and I any questions and see if we can have some answers and also more things to discuss. So feel free to share your thoughts. And Robbie says, great analogy. And Mom says, I want that again and again. Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so isn't it great that in your story you had Ruby and Fluffy and your friends and all the animals, and they were afraid, right? And so you touched them on the heads because you had something from the storm that helped them. What would that be? What do you think that means?
It's basically like you have so much, you just give it away, and it's so good. But I want to back up.
Okay, go right ahead.
Who are they?
Who are they?
Who are the forest animal? Who is Ruby and Fluffy?
Well, what do you think?
People who haven't yet touched the greatness of God.
Oh, okay. And so those people haven't encountered that goodness, right?
They're scared of it. They think it's a forest fire.
Yeah. And what are you doing about it?
Well, I'm embracing it because I know it's not a forest fire.
Yeah.
I have the courage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the other people didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So people who don't have the courage, they have to have somebody who does have the courage, who's embraced it, to help them embrace it.
And what did you do to do that?
Well, I guess in its story, tap them on the head.
Yes, that's fine. Wow, that's so cool. I love it. This is brilliant, Kylie. Bob Little says, wow, amazing, Kylie. Robbie says, childlike, which is pure. Joanne says, she's so on it. Wow. Kylie, Mom says, Kylie, which one is your favorite, Ruby or Fluffy?
Oh, that's too hard.
And Robbie says, wow, amazing insights, Kylie. Wow. You know what? You really think well about this. What are some other cool things in your story that you want to talk about?
Well, let's think. There was golden dust on it.
Yeah, talk about it.
Is that maybe like a thing that gives me the courage or something? Something
Maybe.
that was dropped from heaven?
Could
but
be.
I had to have just enough in the beginning to mix up with it and combined.
Uh-huh.
It just had to be big enough to pass the test, basically.
Okay.
And you get enough courage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like it's like in a game. You don't have enough money. You don't have enough coins.
Okay.
And let's say you had 25 and you wanted to buy a little igloo house that cost $100.
Okay.
And you're like, I want to buy, but it's not going to work. It's not buying.
Right.
You don't have enough. Okay, but so you have that much. And then you get a bonus, which is the golden dust. If that bonus, let's say that bonus is 100.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you can keep what you already have and just pay for it. It's like you have to have the right, just enough in the beginning for the bonus to be able to pass the test.
Nice.
And the bonus is the golden dust.
Wow, I love your analogy. This is beautiful. Grandma says, excellent. My question is, who are they? Good explanation. So it looks like you've already tapped into that. Keep asking, friends, about what Kylie needs to explore and what we need to talk about here. Let me ask you this. So, Joanne says, when you heard this story, Kylie, at what point did you change your perception from maybe being scared to realizing this was a good experience and not a scary one? What in your story, when you were listening, what was the shift? What was happening that made you realize it wasn't bad?
Well, I've heard the story before, that's for sure. But I don't know if the shift has already happened in my real life.
Well, but in the story, what was it that you experienced?
I experienced grace and love and glory from God.
Wow.
And it just changed everything.
Wow. Okay, good. I love it. Thank you for sharing. So I have a question. Based on this story and who you are and as your character, can you tell us what you think your purpose is or what your role is in life?
To help other people experience what I experience.
Good.
But not my bad experience. My good experience.
The good experience, right.
You don't want to spread the bad stuff.
No. You want to be encouraging people, right? So what are the things in your life or in your heart that does encourage people? Like, what can you do?
Well, let's go to a simple fact.
Okay.
Somebody gets hurt.
instead of yelling at them, that's your fault, you got into that position to get hurt, you can just say, oh, I'm sorry, next time be a little bit more careful, and say it in a kind voice.
Wow, brilliantly simply said. That's beautiful. Robbie said, so good. Joanne, love the golden dust courage.
And
yeah?
You misread Robbie's little word.
What?
So good.
Right. I know. I can do better at that, right?
And then, what's her name? And then she says, what is her name? She's so on it.
Nice.
Much more.
Cool. Thank you guys for your comments and everything and your questions. Feel free to keep chiming in. So what do you think is, you know how the storm is rushing over the forest? It's almost like it's moving, right?
Yes, it's basically, it spreads it to me, it spreads it to other people.
Mm-hmm.
So, but will all the other people able to take the courage is another thing.
Mm-hmm.
So as it moves, maybe it's volume 2, because I know he has volume 2s. Maybe in volume 2, I might be moving with it.
Oh, okay.
And going to other places.
Wow. And so when you're moving with it, what do you think what will happen? What kind of impact will it have?
Well, I'm basically traveling with the heaven. Let's say we're on a road trip.
Okay.
We're in a bus. We're traveling, right? We're traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say we're on a heavenly adventure, basically. And we're going, and we're spreading love, not exploring the woods, though.
Okay.
It's still really good. So we're basically traveling from town to town to town, spreading love. All right, so how big is this forest?
Well, it could be very big, right?
Yeah, and it says I tapped the forest animals, which
Yeah.
means I could have traveled all the way around the forest tapping them.
Mm-hmm.
Which means maybe that I was moving with the storm.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the story has a little hint that I was of the second volume.
The second volume, as in like the more stories in the other books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a little plug for book number 2, right? And more ideas. But I like what you're talking about moving with the storm. Robbie's loving it and says, thank you, Kylie. Mike's laughing and Joanne's saying, wow. Did you know that in the book of Exodus, there's a big cloud, and it's a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night, and it moves? And it was the presence of God that was protecting his people. So that's kind of like a storm, and that we need to move with it, right?
Mm-hmm. If we don't move with it, it's just going to go too fast.
Oh.
It's going to run away.
Yeah.
So you need to chase it.
And you know that there's some people think that, oh, this is the way God always does something, right? And so they camp out and they're like, I'm going to not change my ways. and the cloud moves and they get left behind, right? Do you want to always be moving with the cloud and the storm? The heaven storm.
You should.
Yeah. What happens if you don't? What do you think?
Well, so since we're smaller than the cloud, let's say this is us.
Okay.
And I just made this airplane.
Okay.
It's green. It'll blend in with the background. And this is a storm.
Yeah.
So basically, when it just moves up ahead, it's just like the farther it is,
Yeah.
the courage is just fading,
The shadow, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just going away.
Mhm.
Just going away. And you're like, if you're super determined to just stay right there,
Yeah.
then you're like, what if this is? Can you hold this?
Yeah.
Right here. What if that is that far away? I mean, like, if you're so determined, like, to just stay right there, you're never going to catch. You're like missing out a huge, big chance of grace and glory.
Wow, I love it. That's beautiful.
I'll take that.
Wow. Okay, thank you. Okay, so what is other things in this story? Like, let's say, what would happen after this story? Like, what would be the next thing with the storm or the animals or the forest? Like, what do you think would be the next kind of story?
Well, I think kind of figured it out, there's probably going to be more traveling in the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's kind of like we're traveling to different places, helping other peoples.
Mm-hmm.
But if we stay in one group, it's gonna take longer. So maybe we might split up, and then everybody will just be happy.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Joanne says, love how Kylie sees how the storm carries her.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joanne. So what would you say to the people in the audience? What would you give them advice about this story or anything in it?
That you should get his story. Get a story for it.
I didn't mean it that way, Kylie, but okay. No.
It can really, really help you. Trust me, really help you.
No, but no, we're not talking about working on getting an order, Kylie. What in this story would you encourage those people or give them advice when they have storms or whatever it is that you want to say?
Well, an old saying, think before you leap. So you should, for the storm, you saw there's bad storms, there's good storms. So this is a bad storm. This is a bad storm. This one's red, so this will be the bad storm. This one's blue, so it will be the good storm. So let's say you right here thinks the blue storm, which is the good storm, is the bad storm.
Okay.
So you turn and go to the bad storm.
Mm-hmm.
And you embrace it, thinking it's the blue storm, which is the good storm.
Mm-hmm.
But you're instead choosing the red storm, which is the bad storm.
Okay.
So then you should definitely think about what you're embracing. But you shouldn't take too long. Because you don't want to have to try to catch a storm.
Okay, that's good. Good. Thank you, Kylie. So Joanne says most people avoid storms, but Kylie sees it as a way to spread the glory. Wow. Thank you. And then Robbie has a question for you. Would you like to travel with the storm?
Yes, I would. Definitely would. But I'm also thinking about a tornado.
Oh, a tornado. Okay.
Okay. So there's 3 layers in a tornado.
Okay.
The out layer, not very strong. And then the second in the middle layer, very strong. It's like the strongest part. So first, if you're going to pursue the middle, actually inside the tornado is clear. There's actually no wind in the middle.
Oh, I think you're talking about being in the eye of the storm, right?
Eye.
Right.
So you're going to have to go to some difficulty, then a whole lot more, but you're going to get into the eye, which is peaceful, calm.
I love it. This is great, Kylie. I love your ideas and insight. You really know things really well. I'm really impressed. Thank you for teaching me all. And I'm not saying that facetiously. Wow, I'm learning so much. Kylie, thank you. What else can I think about? Let's look at your story. So you have all your rabbit friends and your other friends in the forest fire. And tell me about this. How important is curiosity?
Well, what would it be without a life with no curiosity?
Tell us, what would that be?
Well, then you wouldn't find out what your destiny is.
Oh.
You have to have the curiosity to, well, if there was no curiosity ever, this was not going to be going on. Because the curiosity came from somebody who had curiosity when they found metal, iron, and then super curiosity when they discovered they could make light and make things turn, and then even more curiosity when they could cook things and electronics. I mean, like, without any of that stuff, like, nothing really would be going on.
Right. You can't invent anything or
you
have solutions, or you weren't interested, right? Yeah.
You're like, just turn your backs on everything.
So let me ask you just said the word destiny. What do you think your destiny is? You don't know? Have you ever had a picture in your imagination that says, in the future I'm going to be doing something in some way?
Well, I want to have a big bunny hotel with a library and a vet room attached.
Okay.
So a huge little, like, I really want that. It's just like a huge big hotel that can take care of bunnies. There's a library down in the bottom floor, and the vet on the second floor. And then, like, on the very top, there's going to be all those cute little fluffy bunnies with those adorable little faces.
Okay.
And don't forget, I want to breed bunnies.
Okay, cool. Well, I love your love for bunnies. They're beautiful and cute. So, okay.
I
So
also like dragons a lot.
tell the audience about dragons and why dragons are so exciting to you.
Well, there's so many species. They all fall into 7 classes.
Okay.
Tracker has quite a lot of fire. Well, it has some fire breeders. Boulder, some of the ones eat rocks or lava. And then we have Stoker, fierce fire breathers. And Mystery. Mystery is the 4th one. We don't know much about them. And then 5th. Oh, okay, give me a second. After Stoker, we have Sharp class, where sharp dragons are, and then we have Mystery as the 5th, and then Strike. Oh, there was title in that one too. It's kind of hard to remember all of them.
That's okay. Thank you for sharing. So let's talk about your story and dragons, right? So a lot of people are really impressed that you're talking about being in the center of the storm and it's calm. So what about flying and riding a dragon in the middle of a storm and then letting the story tell you that it's a good storm and that's the glory of heaven? So what do you think about that? It's a great, beautiful image, kind of a scene in a movie or an animation, right?
Well, when you go to the storm dragon, basically the little girl, it's like, I bet in the second one, if there was a second one, they would put a bond.
Like they would bond?
Oh,
okay. Bond. Yeah.
And like, the storm dragon is a storm.
Right. So Kylie's referring to one of the stories in this book called the Storm Dragon, and it's basically a storm of intimidation, and the little girl is running away from it, and she has to face the storm and see the treasure in the storm, right? And then the storm dragon is basically the clouds and the lightning and things like that. Yeah, go ahead.
There is a dragon strike class. It's called a Skrill. It's actually in thunder, lightning storm. It will bond with the storm. It will use electricity. It can zap things. It's zapping fire, but it's extra strong when there's a storm, and literally can light themselves on electricity.
Wow.
So that bonded. And then basically, if the dragon is the storm and you bonded with the storm, the storm's no longer going to give you, well, not very hard challenges.
Oh wow, you overcome, right? Cool.
Overcome. But let's say since this is round, this is the tornado.
Okay.
So once you get into the middle, but you're still moving, you're going to have to. Are you going to come out of it?
Oh, possibly. The storm can move, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So you might get that really hard layer and the smoother layer, and then you go to the opening.
Yeah.
Which you won't have any problems because this is just gonna go away.
Okay. Cool. Kylie, this has been a wonderful conversation. You have very good thoughts.
Thank you.
Thank you for your and those of you in the audience who have asked questions and made great comments. We're gonna wrap it up. So Kylie, I want to encourage you. You love dragons, you love bunnies, you love helping people, you love writing and libraries and storytelling and crafting. All those things about you are the creativity in your heart, and I just want you to know I celebrate that. I'm so thankful for everything that you've been dreaming up and creating. Thank you for being my guest tonight and letting me give you and the audience your story. It's a brilliant time. I love my conversation with you, so thank you.
Thank you, and you're welcome.
Cool. Well, everybody, like I said, these stories that I'm writing for children and adults have a profound impact on people's hearts. And if you are wanting to get a story, go to our description, link in the below in the description, or go to legendsofthewind.com and go to our store and become a legend and look for that product. And right, like I said, we have a buy one, get one free promotion right now for this Christmas holiday season. And you can get a story for yourself and for someone else. So there's some comments here that's coming in. Mike says, Kylie, you are so smart and wise. Robbie says, Kylie, I want to be just like you when I grow up. And Mike says, me too, Robbie. So cool. But if you want to, I
have one thing to say.
Yes.
You haven't been saying this, but he has dream interpretation.
Yes.
He's able to interpret a dream. Like, what's a car, Dad? What's a car?
A car is about your life or your job or your ministry, or you're a vehicle of life.
So basically, what if your car falls? What's a waterfall?
I don't know yet. I have to think about that.
Well, it's basically, it looks pretty and stuff. So I guess it's a good thing.
Well, it could be movement, an outpouring, a beautiful transition, maybe. Yeah.
Beautiful, basically something good that's moving.
Yeah.
So what if your car goes on a waterfall?
Well, it means that your life is taking a big transition, I think.
Yeah, and that's how you interpret a dream.
Yeah, thank you, Kylie. So Grandma says, don't miss your good storms and be wise, Kylie. Aren't we glad God can fix everything if we make a mistake and end up in the bad place? Cool. Thanks, Grandma. Cool.
You should call her Mom, you know.
Well, yeah, I'm doing it for you. Joanne says, well done, Kylie. Robbie, Jurri, Kylie is your cheerleader. Yes, thank you. Thank you, girl. Love you.
Hey.
Okay, so if you know people who would benefit from this broadcast, please share this video with your friends and family and let them know about the opportunity of getting a story and an illustration from Alisha. So we welcome that. We are in a building season, and we are believing for increase in all these things and that we're doing creatively. So thank you for joining us tonight. And a couple more comments. Bob says, thank you, Kylie. You are awesome.
I also want to share.
Yes.
It's a thank you to you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. That she's done.
Can you hold that?
She's done many illustrations.
That's
like
Alisha.
The background.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's done this one for Robbie Little, I think.
Yeah, that's Robbie's. Mm-hmm.
Don't remember this
That's
one.
Linda Aldera, The Power Within.
And then we've got this one, which is cute, adorable, with the little squirrel who can talk.
Yeah.
And this candy. And then this one's like a little far away.
Yeah.
But like, it's still really good.
Cool. Thank you.
I also want to show that he's lost weight and there's no beard.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
he used to have a beard.
The picture. Cool. Thank you, Kylie. Well, we're going to wrap it up. Everyone's been sticking around for the entire show. Thank you very much for being with us for this entire imaginative escapade. Robbie says, great job, Kylie. Well done. You're awesome. So cool.
Thank you.
So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for participating in the time of imaginative and creativity. We'll see you again. Where is it? Let's see. We'll see you again on the next broadcast. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.